A real man is. He is sticking by me whether I cheated or not, which I did, but it's okay.
When you are dating a man and he says anything to you,
break up with him.
The more masculine a man is, the more controlling he's going to be. This does not mean that he's going to be insecure.
On Girls Trip, the girls are either fighting or there's always that one girl that got a boyfriend and wants to cheat. There's always that one girl where the liquor starts moving and she starts eyeballing you and somehow she's trying to get in your bed.
How old do you have to be then as a woman to be considered a leftover?
I think around 30, like after 30 years old. But if you're after 35 years old, then just you're out of the market. You know, it's more like you don't have to consider about getting married anymore. Just to maybe have a child on your own is the best way for you.
There's such an insane imbalance between men and women. I don't think that we'll ever be able to restore equality in the balance between men and women.
Yeah, guys, that's true, because the feminist movement now doesn't want equality. They want to be superior, they want to be dominant, and they don't care what happens to men.
I'm divorced.
Okay.
I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me. $326 a month because he's not working, because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun. And I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license. So technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week, approximately, is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about.
By the way, guys, I don't condone not taking care of your kids. But you can see on her how petty she is. She doesn't care that she's divorced. She doesn't care that she's not married anymore. She cares more about the money. So, in my opinion, both of them are wrong, but I don't know all the facts. I don't know why they got divorced.
Says he works 15 hours a week.
There really is no such a thing as a whole face. You can't be a serial killer for 5 years and then just be like, oh, I'm not a murderer anymore. I had a spiritual enlightening experience. I'm a good person now. No.
Men more
yeah, they're a born-again virgin.
likely to be manipulated through sex.
Oh yeah, men only think about sex, so they're very manipulated. Women dominate it.
So then why aren't men protected from emotional abuse the same way women are protected from physical abuse?
Because nobody cares about men and men's rights.
Because men are idiots. No, emotional is worse. No, emotional is worse than physical. It is.
So then if emotional...
No, it's not. Believe me.
...is worse than physical,
Yes,
wouldn't men deserve protection more than women?
They would. They should. But they're not smart enough to fight for it.
Being a stepfather is a bad deal. I know, I used to be one.
Of course.
When you're a stepfather, these single moms, they want you to have all the responsibility of the real father, but none of the authority. They do not want you to discipline their child because it's their child. See, they want to pull the parent card on you when it's time to discipline the child. Oh, no. She don't want you doing that. How dare you discipline my child? They want you to pay for the child like it's...
Guys, it's so simple. If you're thinking of becoming a stepdad, just take a piece of paper and write on it the advantages and the disadvantages, and just make a decision based on that. It's so simple.
It's your own. Single mothers will never put their child before you. And another thing out here, you need to be careful with a woman with a girl, because all it takes is for one false accusation for that girl to say that you touched her inappropriately, and now your life is ruined. So
Yeah, because she doesn't like you, because maybe she's a teenager and you know how teenagers are, and you're not her real father, so you can't tell her what to do, and she gets mad at you for something or another, or her mother puts her up to it, and it's so simple for you to go to jail.
So if you're a man out here, I would highly advise you to stay away from single mothers.
How many guys you knocking down on spring break? Because it seems like you're just going wild.
She's going pretty
How
crazy.
many guys you knocked down?
How's she? We lost out after like 12.
12 guys on spring break.
Yeah.
How many more guys you knocking down?
On a regular weekend, I'd probably say 3.
3 guys a weekend?
So if I wanted a high volume man, what do I do?
Be reincarnated. If you are ugly, you are ugly. Stop talking about inner beauty. Men do not walk around with the x-rays to see your inner beauty.
Shouldn't argue with women because at the end of the day, their perception of the world is based on their feelings. They don't see facts. They see good, bad, fair, unfair, what should and what shouldn't be. You tell a woman 2 + 2 is 4 and she don't like you or 4, you just became a bigot, a homophobic, transphobic. You hate your mom. They don't argue to understand. They want you to know how they feel and they want you to validate how they feel. Anytime you listen to a woman talk, you tell them something.
Even me, guys, if I say something, I criticize a woman, all the women in my comments will say that I hate women. Even if they know what that woman said is wrong, and I just say it's wrong. I don't even criticize, I just say it's not true. I'm a misogynist. That's how they operate. They operate based on feelings and how you make them feel. And if what I say makes them feel angry, anything else, it doesn't matter. Even if what I say, they know it's true. It doesn't matter.
Then the first thing that come out of their mouth, that's mean, that's rude, that's not fair. Who cares if it's mean, rude, or unfair? It's a fact.
Would you date a guy that makes $75K a year?
That's so cute. No. With inflation in this economy, I absolutely could not. I don't think that he could afford our groceries.
How many of you want to bet that she doesn't know what's the inflation in the USA? I don't know. I admit it, because I don't live there. But she doesn't know. And she's talking about inflation.
Groceries. And I mean, and I'm buying organic, and obviously I'm buying all like grass-fed, grass-finished
Of
beef.
course.
No
Because she's a princess.
seed oils. So no, we couldn't afford that at Whole Foods. No.
No Whole Foods for this guy.
No Whole Foods. We're back at like Publix, like the sale section.
Like Walmart groceries.
Walmart groceries, yeah.
I can finally understand what men mean when they say they look for their 80%, meaning that if they meet a woman who meets 80% of what they're looking for, they be willing to build a life with her. Women, not so much. But the interesting thing about...
Yeah, that's true. And they're willing to give it a try. That's the most important thing. Women wouldn't even give it a try because from the start, you're not good enough.
About women is that we will go so hard to meet that 100% and we'll look for that extra 20%, 10%, whatever percent that's missing in men who do nothing but bring chaos into our lives.
But what does she bring to the table? I'm breakfast, lunch, dinner, maternal instinct, homework help, business strategy.
Okay, so basically nothing. Okay, let's skip this video.
That's how men are. Men are critical. Generally speaking, the reasons why children do better with both parents, intact families, is because they receive unconditional love and support from mum, but very conditional high standards from father, who's there to remind you that this dream you have of becoming a musician is probably not going to work. Go get a real job.
Yeah, guys, that's true. And I want to tell you a story. And I know many of you will say, well, you can't compare the two. Yeah, but it's just a story. Just something anecdotal that I saw. So, for example, I train my dog from when he was little. He listens to everything I say. If I say stop, he stops. I don't even take a leash with me when I go outside because he doesn't walk like 4 or 5 feet away from me, and he stops. He never walks away from me. My girlfriend, on the other hand, was never critical with him, never shouted at him, never tried to train him. He doesn't listen to anything she says. She says, hey, come here. He doesn't even look at her. Why? Because all she does is cuddle him.
This exam, you're not going to pass it unless you work hard. So stop being a failure watching video games all day.
What is the 666 rule?
6 foot tall.
Make 6 figures.
Yes. 6 inches. If you're a single woman and you're trying to date, you are looking for probably these qualities in a man.
In the U.S., 14.5% of all men are 6 feet or over.
Damn. Shit. So good luck.
Tough there already. Just on the height alone, that's tough.
Yeah.
17% of American men make over $100,000. Okay, at 6 inches, you're in the top
I thought it was less, but maybe it's a new statistic.
15th percentile.
Damn.
So you're looking for somebody who's in the top 15% of dick size, top 17% of annual salary, and top 14% of height.
Why do I feel like those are so low? Because I feel like there's so many out there.
So if you are a woman and you have genital preferences for the man that you're looking to, it's just, this is so trashy. Imagine if a man said this about a woman's nether regions. We would...
She thinks there are many, many more men like that because she only pays attention to those kinds of men. If she walks down the street and 100 men pass her, she will only see the 4 or 5 that she likes, that were tall enough, that were good looking enough. That's the truth, but they don't realize that.
rightfully condemn him as just pure trash, pure filth. This is you, ladies. Please don't be like this woman. Be down to earth, okay? Be realistic. Have standards, but don't be entitled.
The statistics actually show that when you poll people after divorce, years after divorce, 10 years after divorce, about 75% of people will actually say that they think they could have made their marriage work.
I don't believe that because I think many of them are just full of regret and they're thinking of what could have been because maybe their lives are worse. But I don't think if you got divorced, I don't think you could have made it work. Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so because that means you were not compatible. You shouldn't have gotten married in the first place.
Oh, man. And that's kind of an interesting thought there, that when you're in the thick of the pain, you're looking for any way out. I think one of the reasons why that stat is there, too, is because people think that the divorce itself is the solution, when in reality, there was two people who needed to look themselves in the mirror and make some changes. Yeah. And they think that the
or maybe they shouldn't have gotten together in the first place.
Divorce will fix it without the looking in the mirror and the making of the changes, and then they end up in a different situation that's very similar to the one they just left.
You know the saying that if you give a woman a house, she'll create a home? Like anything you give a woman, she multiplies. This is kind of the same concept, but for men. If you respect a man, he'll give you love. If you give a man compliments and you meet emotional needs, he will turn around and do the same thing. He's not doing this to one-up you. He's literally reciprocating the same energy that you're giving him. If you have never created a safe space to let him open up and feel his emotions and be raw and vulnerable, he will not be. Then when you get mad at him for not opening up, he's going to be like, well, why would I do that? Because all you're going to do is use it against me. Yeah, but when you meet him where he's at, you meet him with love and admiration and respect. And
yes, what she's saying is true, but those women are very rare because nowadays women don't admire their husbands. Women don't respect their boyfriends. They respect the guy next door that has more money, that is taller, that is better looking.
So I went to a singles event, and when I got there, it was literally 90% women. And I was like, I'm gonna go now.
I won't settle, I'll just be single. My mom's single, my mom's been single, my mom raised me single, so I'll just stay single.
By the way, that's a very genetic trait. There's a book by Barry Schwartz, one of my mentors. He's a professor. It's called The Paradox of Choice. People get f***ed up when they think they have too much choice, but nobody has as much choice as you think. But it's genetic. Some people
Yeah, that's true. If you go into a store and you want to buy some candy and there are only 2 types of candy, it's easy. But when you go to a store and there are hundreds of types of candies, you will stay there for half an hour trying to choose.
Calls them maximizers or satisficers. Maximizers are always looking for better, and they're not going to settle till they find the best. Satisficers realize time is short, and so it's like you got to marry something, especially for giving birth to babies. Like for men and women, you got to pop them out because nature don't give a shit about culture.
No woman in my life ever lost sleep about putting me in a nicer, safer home, a nicer neighborhood. No woman ever thought about taking me away on a nice sunny vacation to recharge or relax. No woman thought about making more money so I don't have to call someone else boss. No woman ever took out $1 million life insurance policy on herself so I wouldn't struggle if she dies. Women, not all, but most, have no clue or give a shit about the sacrifices men make and what comes natural to us to create a nice life for them.
I think one of the most painful feelings in the world is knowing that you have to walk away from a situation that you don't want to. I also think that it's one of the most beautiful things because you're starting to recognize your worth and you're eventually going to get what you deserve. So I know that it may be...
You shouldn't be emotional. You should be logical. And you should see that that relationship is not good for you. And you should see that breaking up and not staying in that relationship any longer will give you time to maybe find a better woman and will give her time to maybe find a better man instead of being miserable together.
hard and it sucks and it hurts a lot. I've had to walk away from things that I really didn't want to walk away from, but I knew it was going to be what was best for me.
Men are owed a global apology. You see, we were sold this lie as women.
I don't think men want an apology. I just think they want to be respected. That's all. They just want to be respected.
That we could have the most perfect man and we could have everything we've ever wanted and all our desires and dreams would come true. But it really was an illusion. It really was false. And what it's done for women is it's kept them single, because the agenda of it was to remove the woman from the home and to stop the man wanting to return to it. So my global apology to men is that I'm sorry that I always thought I knew more, and I'm sorry that I didn't let you lead, and I'm sorry that because of that, you would have never felt good enough, and that's simply not true. You are good enough, and we do appreciate you, and we do love you so much, and I'm sorry that those actions of mine made you feel like you weren't enough.
And women today, like the modern women, they want the aesthetics of what a man is, but they actually don't want a man because they don't want to be submissive. And I know that's a word thrown out there. Women get scared of that.
Explain what you mean by submissive for those unaware.
Submissive as in respect. Being the peace, the calm, always. Right? So if a lion is roaring, you have to learn how to quiet.
True.
You know, so
true.
it's just like women don't want to be submissive. Women don't want to be corrected. We're the only nation of women that say they don't need a man. And you have all these other nations, those women aren't saying that because they know the greatness and the importance of a man being around. Not just financially, but for beyond that. It's beyond finances. It's for the structure. It's for the balance.
Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.